The most terrible poverty is loneliness and the feeling of being unloved. The time you feel lonely is the time you most need to be by yourself. Sometimes you need to be alone, not to be lonely, but to enjoy your free time being yourself. The soul that sees beauty may sometimes walk alone. All great and precious things are lonely. A season of loneliness and isolation is when the caterpillar gets its wings. Remember that next time you feel alone. Sometimes you need to take a break from everyone and spend time alone to experience, appreciate, and love yourself. There is nothing more lonely and terrifying than feeling unheard. Someday, you're going to be all alone, so you need to figure out how to take care of yourself. The palace leads to fame, the market to fortune, and solitude to wisdom. In a choice between bad company and loneliness, the latter is preferable. The lonely person is at home everywhere. Reading well is one of the great pleasures that solitude can afford you. In the city, no one is quiet, but many are lonely. In the country, people are quiet, but few are lonely. People are lonely because they build walls instead of bridges. Loneliness can be conquered only by those who can bear solitude. The happiest of all lives is a busy solitude. Columbus discovered no isle or key as lonely as himself. Leadership is the other side of the coin of loneliness, and he who is a leader must always act alone, and acting alone, accept everything alone. No one ever discovers the depths of his own loneliness. The surest cure for vanity is loneliness. The loneliness you feel is actually an opportunity to reconnect with others and with yourself. Great men are like eagles. They build their nest on some lofty solitude. A man can be himself only so long as he is alone. And if he does not love solitude, he will not love freedom, for it is only when he is alone that he is truly free. The best part about being alone is that you don't have to answer to anyone. You do what you want. The thing that makes you exceptional, if you are at all, is inevitably that which makes you lonely. Loneliness is, and always has been, the central and inevitable experience of every man. It takes nothing to join the crowd. It takes everything to stand alone. The only time we waste is the time we spend thinking we are alone. Find company within yourself, and you'll never spend a day alone. Find love within yourself, and you'll never have a lonely day. The greatest thing in the world is to know how to belong to yourself. I used to think that the worst thing in life was to end up all alone. It's not. The worst thing in life is to end up with people that make you feel all alone. Loneliness adds beauty to life. It puts a special burn on sunsets and makes night air smell better. When we cannot bear to be alone, it means we do not properly value the only companion we will have from birth to death, ourselves. Being alone and sitting with our own thoughts can lead to such growth and realizations that are rare in our everyday busy lives. By all means, use some time to be alone. Salute thyself. See what thy soul doth wear. Solitude is the beginning of freedom. Loneliness is not a reality, it's a feeling. Constant loneliness is emotional lameness. It damages both physical as well as mental health. If you never share your feelings with anyone, you are bound to feel lonely. If you meet a loner, no matter what they tell you, it's not because they enjoy solitude. It's because they have tried to blend into the world and people continue to disappoint them. Loneliness is not lack of company, it is lack of purpose. There is nothing outside of yourself. Look within. Everything you want is there. Loneliness is about perceiving that no one is there for you, but solitude is about making a choice to be alone with your thoughts. The loneliest moment in someone's life is when they are watching their whole world fall apart and all they can do is stare blankly. If you are afraid of being lonely, don't try to be right. It's easy to stand with the crowd, but it takes courage to stand alone. Never search for your happiness in others. It will make you feel alone. Search for it in yourself. You will feel happy even when you are left alone. Dreams have only one owner at a time. That's why dreamers are lonely. I've noticed that loneliness gets stronger when we try to face it down, but gets weaker when we simply ignore it. There is a loneliness in this world so great that you can see it in the slow movement of the hands of a clock. We're born alone, we live alone, we die alone. Only through our love and friendships can we create the illusion for the moment that we're not alone. Don't fear solitude. If you are never alone, you cannot know yourself. But don't get too attached to it. It may become an addiction. The woman who follows the crowd will usually go no further than the crowd. The woman who walks alone is likely to find herself in places no one has ever been before. Ordinary men hate solitude, but the Master makes use of it, embracing his aloneness, realizing he is one with the universe. There is none lonelier than the man who loves only himself. I live in that solitude which is painful in youth, but delicious in the years of maturity. It is far better to be unhappy alone than to be unhappy with someone, so far.